Alright, guys. There were some questions that were asked about frame data, so we'll try and make it as simple as possible. You'll notice yourself being in this situation a lot. You throw a move out, and they block it. And now you see, when a move is blocked, how the game works is that it works in frames, right? 60 frames per second, as you've probably heard of. Each second, 60 frames goes by, and the move works within these frames. And the important part to know about this for this discussion is that when a move is blocked, you have a certain amount of frames that you recover. And the opponent has a certain amount of frames they recover in a state called block stun. You see how Lucifer puts her wings up like that when she blocks? The moment those come down, that means she recovers. And she's no longer in the block stun state. And if you can notice, she actually recovers slightly faster than Will. This is called being minus, because it essentially takes you, I don't know the exact same frame data, so we're going to make it up. It takes you, let's say, 5 frames to recover more than Lucifer does in this exchange. Doesn't count. Okay, that should work. Let her block that. It's kind of hard to recreate, but you see how it happened there? In a real game, you're going to get counter hit in that scenario and comboed. The training AI is a little dumb, so it's not actually going to get a combo on me, but you did see that counter hit for a second. You will totally get punished for just throwing these moves out that are minus. So, you want to throw out moves that are plus, and you might be asking, well, how do I know what's plus and what's minus? Unfortunately, this game doesn't really convey this information very well, but there is frame data on the wiki here, the Mizumi wiki. I have Bern Cassell's open right now, but you can go down to the bottom here and change to Willard, and number 6 or 7 here should be frame data, and it tells you all of the frame data, and really, damage isn't really that important. Startup's kind of important, active, whatever. So you see this on hit and on block frame advantage. This is what you want to see. And you'll notice that move I was doing there, 2C. On block it's -8. So that means Lucifer had 8 frames to hit me with some sort of move and get a combo off of it. If we want to go really deep into this, where's Lucifer? Lucifer has some pretty fast moves. He's a fast character. 2B, which is like that big-ass crouching move that you see her do a lot. The startup of it is 8. So this is an 8-frame punish to Will's 2C that recovers in 8 frames. I don't know how we got down to the combos there. But that's what that means essentially. Because it's -8, it can be punished with anything that is faster than 8 frames or is 8 frames. So all of these moves right here, 5A, 2A, close 5B, far 5B, 2B, close 5C apparently as well. These are all moves that will be able to punish Will's block 2C if he doesn't recover it into anything. So that's all it means. It refers to advantage that you have when you hit someone. Alright, let's talk about plus normals. Plus normals, there was some confusion about this. As I mentioned before, everything works off of frames. And the minus frames give the opponent the advantage. You know, in Will's 2C scenario, he was -8. So they had 8 frames of advantage to do whatever they want until you recovered and you're able to block again, because you can't block while you're in recovery state. So the flip side of the minus normals are plus normals. And I'm going to be looking at Bern here for this example, because Bern has a lot of plus normals, and Will does not. So this will work better for the demonstration, bear with me. So let's look at one move in particular, this 2C. This move, I know, I'll even show you, I'm not lying. I know what I'm talking about. This move right here, 2C, it's +3. And what that means in, non-geek speak is that I have 3 frames to do whatever I want after that move is blocked. You see how her wings don't go down? Like we were talking about, once the wings start to go down, that's when they've recovered, and they can punish you with some sort of move. And this plus move scenario, I am the one who recovers faster than them, not the other way around, which was being minus. So in being +3, if I do something like this, they don't have a big gap to get out of this. If you look at her frame data, this jab startup here is its startup is 4 frames. So this +3 into a 4-frame move means that they only have 1 frame to do anything within there. 1 frame, that's not very much. You can only really do like a grab, which isn't really a realistic option because at this range, grab whiffs. You can do meta, which is instant, or you can do some sort of invincible reversal like this VP right here. Those are all kind of risky, they take meter, and those are the kind of situations you want to put your opponent in to, be wary about pushing a button in between, all these plus normals. And just for reference, this far 5B is also plus, it's +2. So doing things like that. This jump 2C is also plus, even though it's on the frame data. It's a bit of a unique case. This TK, which means Tiger Knee. It's from Street Fighter. It basically means doing air moves instantly. This is also super plus, but that's just because the game doesn't really account for how plus air normals are in this game. So pretty much everything that's done in the air will be plus if you hit it close to the ground, so things like this are also plus. But that's all plus moves are, not to get too deep into it. It just means you have advantage to go in, and they don't have the recovery from their block to be able to hit you. And this will put pressure onto them to make risky decisions and try and push buttons where they can't, so it's good to know these moves. This is a little more advanced fighting game stuff, though. You don't need to learn every single piece of frame data that exists out there. But if you ever see a move like this and you're just like, oh, I tried to push a button there and it didn't come out, that means it was plus, more than likely, if you did it right. So that's all you really need to know. Hope it was simple enough to understand. I'm glad to teach you guys anything about OMK. So take it easy, guys.